And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes. And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth. Centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, so much more. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate, where our goal is to entertain, enlighten, engage, educate, in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby,
Don't forget our number. And also, we want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site. You can see a plethora of information, links to all of our expert contributors that we have listed under the Expert Contributors tab. By the way, if you're watching this from a PC or on a smartphone, you can use the Google Chrome app and pull up our website /live stream, and you can see the live stream of our TV show production here that we have in studio. So we've got Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio, and we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to entertain, educate, and engage, help you win in any marketplace. This segment is brought to you by my health team, consisting of Michael Vogt. He's an expert massage therapist here in Tampa Bay, and he's located at 3750 Gun Highway, suite number 106 in Tampa. Back in Health Massage, voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards. And also shouts out to part 2 of my health team. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? And that is Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul. He does an awesome job. He's an expert chef. He's a holistic healing chef. He's going to bring in awesome food for you during the week. That way, during your busy travels as a salesperson, business owner, whatever you might be doing, it's awesome. You bring this food with you in the car, and you're not pulling in these fast food restaurants, and it's able to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. So shouts out to my health team. Greatly appreciate those guys. And let's go ahead and round the horn here, make our introductions. We're live from iHeartRadio here, beautiful South Tampa, sunny South Tampa, Florida here. And first up, we're going to have Alex with Southern Image Homes. He's the owner of Southern Image Homes, high-end construction homes.
Hey, hi, Brandon. How are you? Thanks for having me here.
Hey, my pleasure. Going to have a conversation about some of these beautiful properties that you're building.
Yes. Are we going around, or you want me to start talking?
Yeah, that's all right. Get to intro.
I don't know how it goes. But my name's Alex Mourtakos. I'm the owner of Southern Image Homes. We've been in business for about 15 years. Built throughout the Tampa Bay market. I've built hundreds of houses, won numerous awards, over 50 awards for designs, and I guess, everything else. I was youngest president of the Building Association.
Nice.
I guess goes on and on. So I don't,
beautiful.
Yeah, don't know how much more to talk about myself.
Beautiful. That's a good tease right there. We'll tease the listeners with that. And also in studio, Mark. He's the owner of Generex Generators. Welcome in, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent.
We're going to be in here today talking about generators for homes mostly, but we also sell them for commercial, for businesses, and for business homes as well.
Smart move. It's a smart move to have a system in place, backup. You have power outages more than people know. And, if you don't have a generator, you're going to be out of business.
Oh, absolutely. We have power outages every day. So, we just had one in South Tampa last Wednesday, I think it was. They were out for almost 8 hours because somebody ran into a pole.
Wow.
So it doesn't take a hurricane or a great weather event or even a
Could be terrorist attacks.
Well,
I mean, you never know
doesn't
these
take
days.
that. Yeah, the terrorist attacks even doesn't require that to get a power outage. Just a simple car accident can get us out for 8 hours pretty easily.
Right, or maybe an upgrade to infrastructure. You never know.
The higher end homes too. I've used his company.
Yeah, we're doing one for you right now. As a matter of fact,
He's doing one for
believe
me
it or
right
not.
now. I just
Love it.
realizing that right now. So
Excellent.
I've never got to meet you, but
Yeah,
I'm
well-
glad I did get to meet you.
Well,
though.
there you go.
Meeting on air. Perfect.
That's right.
And also in studio, a repeat offender, longtime partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Jerel McCants, McCants Architecture. Welcome back in, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. What's going on in your world, man?
Well, I definitely like to talk about the difference between the drawing world and the built world. So it's a good complement of guests we have on today. And also, I wanted to talk about Elon Musk with his plan to power homes with batteries. I thought it would be pretty interesting. We have Generex on the show. He can get his comments and see what's can go from there.
They're no good. They're no good.
Probably competitors, right?
Yeah.
Competition is always great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sharpen the saw, right? Like Stephen Covey says. It's always, everybody's sharpening the saw, getting better at what they do, innovating. I love the innovative approach, what we have for our business owner partners here. And again, over 75 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show, all gauged as an effort to help you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show. We want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial wheel, which with each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay that we've assembled to help you win. So if you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're going to have a conversation here. First up is going to be Alex with Southern Image Homes. So the youngest president of the Builders Association. That's pretty cool, man.
I'm starting to get old now. That was when I was 29 years old. And I got a lot more gray hair, a lot less hair than I used to have. But I really learned from the ground up. I was on job sites from when I was 12, doing all the grunt work and worked my way up and went into college. And then my first, to give you a little bit of 10-second history, I was in college my first semester. I wanted to come back home. Called my father up, said I want to come back home. He said, no problem, I'll see you on the job site at 7 o'clock. I said, well, I think I'm going to stay in college a little bit longer rather than do that. So I learned, I built all types of houses from villas. I remember, if you could believe this, back in the day that were $99,900 to houses that are well over $2 million. So
very nice.
It's been a big gamut, a fun ride, and I really enjoy what I do, and I get to meet a lot of great people in the business and homeowners, and there's nothing better than handing the keys and the closing package to somebody who has got their house built. That's a great feeling.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I love about it, being about a realtor here in Tampa Bay is helping people with one of their major decisions in their life. Most of the time, the number one asset for most families is their home. So people are trusting you. They're meeting with you to go in and build their custom dream home.
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. And tell us about some of your success stories that you've had.
Well, let me give you a little bit about the company and how it works. No, number one, I've made the decision that I'm not going to do, the 50 or 80 house type stuff, that was going on during the building boom. I made the decision to scale it down and be a little smaller company, do maybe about a dozen projects a year, somewhere in there, the comfort zone that I can handle, because I'm very involved with my family and want to do that. And once you start getting past a crescendo, if you will, you have no time to do anything. So I probably turn down a lot more work than I actually take.
Yeah.
And I really am involved, and I put everything into every house that is built. I have construction managers on site, but everybody has my cell phone number, so they can call me, text me, my email, I get back to them. And there's no going through this whole gamut of personnel and all the corporate stuff. If you want an answer, you get the answer right away, and it's just real straight and quick, and probably one of the most, if not the most flexible guys you're going to deal with. And also being cost efficient, which is important, knowing about the different angles of construction. I've built A-zone, V-zone houses, commercial construction, build outs, doctors' places, camp canines, where people have their dogs when they go on vacation.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of stuff,
Interesting. Yeah. So, and you're implementing these days, I bet, a lot of the green technologies into the homes.
Yeah, the standard stuff that comes into the houses anyway, like tankless water heaters. I do R38 insulation as a standard, radiant barriers on the plywood. All these things are standards anyway. I don't charge the people extra. It's really a turnkey business. It costs X amount to build this house, and then you don't go through. And one of the big differences is if you walk into a model center, let's say from a competitor or another builder, you look there and there's $200,000 to $300,000 maybe worth of options, and they've got lists and all the pomp and circumstance floating around, and it looks great. And then when you get your house, it's chalky white paint and 2 1/4 casing, and this isn't the house I thought I bought. When you walk into one of my models or houses, what you see is what you get. It's turnkey, and the green stuff's already put into there.
Yeah.
So it's part of the whole package.
Yeah, and it's a big difference because as a home builder, been doing it for years.
Yes.
There are certain ways where you can take a shortcut if you are going to be one of these row home builders, so to speak, that come in and just fill out a community as fast as they can and put them up. And so stay with us. The best is yet to come. We got an all-star lineup for you here. Alex with Southern Image Homes, Mark with Generex Generators, and Jerel McCants, the architecture of the group here. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We want to educate, entertain, and engage. Stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Tampa here at realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show and the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. and I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine multiple times, Tampa Bay Business Journal, recognized for innovations with marketing, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. By the way, we are here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida here, and we have a lack of inventory. If you're a seller out there thinking about potentially selling, maybe you want to move closer to the beach, closer to work, move up, move down, we're going to help you with that. So we would love to, have you reach out. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can send us a text message to 813-917-1894. That's our consumer advocate hotline. Welcome to my house. Or you can go to our website, realestateradiotampa.com. All you have to do is submit the form there, and you can submit the form, and we'll be in touch with you. My promise is to get back to you before my head hits the pillow. And this segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. They come in and out, 4 fine folks in and out within an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they leave the house smelling good, looking good, and that is the Maids, referred for a reason. Before we jump back into this great content, I got an open house going on at 5722 Tanager Side Road in Lithia. 4 bedrooms, 3-bath property, listed at $465,000, and it's at the Fishhawk Lifestyle of Parkside Village. Beautiful property here in Tampa Bay. And the property of the month is 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. This is a $1.27 million beach park property, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, over 4,800 square foot living in a distinguished South Tampa, beautiful property here. Estate style pool, large fenced in backyard, and some of the best living in Tampa Bay. All right, so let's go ahead and switch conversation. We're going to talk with Mark now from Generex Generators, and so Mark, what are you seeing out there, man?
Well, it's coming up on hurricane season. Hurricane season starts June 1st. We're starting to get really busy, and orders are starting to back up. Right now, we're probably from start to finish 7 to 10 days for most municipalities, including the permit and so on.
7 to 10 days as far as to get the install started?
No, from when the customer signs to when we're completed.
Completed,
Yeah,
nice.
we do everything in-house, so it's really easy to control the schedule. We don't have any subcontractors. Very rarely do we use subcontractors. We do the gas, the electric, the concrete, every bit of the project.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a smart move. If you have a home-based business, I know I work from home a lot. My girlfriend works pretty much exclusively from home, and if you have a power outage that lasts a day or two, you're looking at your Mac computer, your PC, your smart devices, all those running out of battery juice, and your business is shut down.
Well, most battery backups for a PC or a Mac is not including the laptops, is generally about 90 minutes on the high side.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we forget about them because they sit there for years, and they'll go down as low as 5 minutes before you're completely dead and out of business.
Right.
The nice thing about the generators is you lose power. 11 seconds later, you don't get off. Actually, now we're down to 6 seconds.
Nice.
6 seconds later, you don't get off the couch, you don't leave your desk, you don't do anything. The generator's on and doing its job and powering your home or your business, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Talk about, that's a good way to get stressed out. You're stressed out. You got no power in your house, and you're sitting there trying to run a business. So these things are going to kick on immediately. And what's the typical? How long will they last? And then you put more tank.
Well, your fuel is one way to look at it, and the other thing is the machine itself, just like your car. The air-cooled generators are generally, if you take care of them, they'll get 20 years of life out of them.
Nice.
The liquid-cooled generators, the larger generators, you'll get anywhere from 30 to 50 years. I mean, we're constantly replacing generators on the beach for high-rises and high-rise buildings. The generators have been there for 50 years.
Wow.
As long as you take care of them, they'll just keep running.
Yeah.
It's just the newer technologies and the quieter machines that they are today, so people still tend to upgrade and change them out.
And what is the fuel source typically?
Well, there's 3. For residential and commercial, our favorite is always natural gas because outside of a nuclear bomb, natural gas is uninterrupted. You'll always have fuel. Mm-hmm. Our next step is for propane, but unfortunately with a propane tank, you're confined to that tank size. Mm-hmm. Which it isn't a problem either. Even the smallest tank on say one of the typical 22 kW for a home will last you anywhere from 2.5 to 3 days. Mm-hmm. And then the next step is to go to diesel. The only downside of diesel is, unlike propane, there's only a few diesel delivery trucks that can come into a neighborhood within the Tampa market. It's just not a big call for that outside of generators. Where you might have 10 or 20 of those diesel delivery trucks in the Tampa market where you'll have 500 propane delivery trucks around the Tampa market. So
is that the most prevalent, propane?
For delivery, yeah. I mean, natural gas is the best way to go, but then propane is your next choice. And then diesel, once you get to generators for large buildings, you're stuck with nothing but diesel for the most part. And there's some hybrid systems out there too that run on diesel and natural gas, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. If you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhynes. We're talking with Mark from Generex Generators. He's an owner with Generex. And
one of the owners.
And so, it's interesting, so many people, I mean, it's still the market penetration. I mean, I know you're doing a lot of jobs out there, but you think that, we would, the market penetration would be higher being in, the state that we're in and, things that are happening out there and more, the trend toward more home-based businesses as well.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. At no time in our lives have we ever been so dependent on electricity the way we are today. Right. And at no point has our power grid ever been in such a disrepair.
Right.
I mean, I remember when Hurricane Elena was out there in the Gulf, it spun for a couple of days, never actually impacted us. But I remember, we were out of power, and the only thing that was bothered us is we were out of electricity. I mean, out of air conditioning. Today, now I look around and see nieces and nephews and see how what would they do if they didn't if they weren't able to have their Xboxes and their iPads and have everything working. So and that's kind of where we're at with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of what we do is relying on technology. Obviously, we're in this. I joke around it, texting and tweeting and twerking world that we're in. It's a lot of social media, and it's the sensationalism in the news and things that you find on TV, and it all is reliant up on that power. What about the infrastructure? What do you have insights on that as far as Tampa Bay versus other markets and the infrastructure, the panel you mentioned, or the power grid?
Well, you can see for yourself. Just drive around and start looking for trees, and you'll see how the power lines are running through the trees, and they've cut this giant Y shape to make room, because naturally we as humans, for whatever reason, like to border our properties with bushes and trees.
Yeah.
And those trees grow up, and when those trees grow up, they grow into where everybody likes to run the power lines,
right?
Which is on the property lines.
Yep.
So the power companies do their best to try and keep up with it, but unfortunately, you can only do so much. The best thing to have done was just to cut down all the trees, but you can't do that either.
Yeah, right.
But that's definitely the safest thing.
Yeah.
But so if you look around, you'll see in your neighborhood, we go to people's neighborhood all the time. They call us out there to do a generator assessment, and they say, well, our power lines are underground. Maybe in the neighborhood, like where you guys are building Southern Image homes, in that neighborhood, the power lines are down, but coming to there is miles and miles of above ground power lines.
Right.
And you see where the trees are growing into them, and that's the first thing that's going to happen is a good wind comes and knocks them down.
Yep.
Here in South Tampa, all we do is get a good rain. It starts weighing down the trees a little bit, and it knocks out the power for a few hours.
Big branches fall on it typically.
Just push down on it because the leaves are wet. Believe it or not, a good soaking, we'll see power outages all the time.
Wow, interesting. And it's interesting that you two have crossover as well. A lot of the higher-end custom home builders or buyers, they're going to want this type of technology implemented into their power.
Oh yeah, they one of the first things on their checklist these days, and I'm not just saying this, is to have a generator for the house.
Yep.
Higher net worth people, nicer houses, they're not going to be without power.
Right.
And Mark's company does a good job in working with us, and get the transfer switches in there. You put the units in there, and then we do the walkthrough and see. Every generator is different on what it can handle in the house. If it's from a 22 kW. It used to be 20, I think. Now it's 20.
It was.
It was 20. Now it's 22 kW, and a lot of the communities I build in have natural gas, which is good too. So it keeps it going, and how much it's going to run inside the house. So there's different levels that people select on what they want to use. Because a lot of my houses sometimes have, 3-4 air conditioning units. So which ones do you want to run? And how many refrigerators in your houses do you want to run? Yeah. They have a lot of luxuries that some other people might not have. So
pick and choose which one.
What's neat about our system is we can connect a smaller generator, and like even one of the new houses that we're working on for you, that the whole house is going to be connected to the generator, even if it can't run it all at the same time. So let's say they want to be able to run the main house air conditioning unit for part of the day, and then only the master bedroom air conditioning the other part of the day. They'll have have the flexibility and the freedom to do that.
Yep.
With
Yeah,
our
that's
system,
great.
anyway.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah, stay with us. More from our experts here in studio. Also want to invite our listeners out there and any potential prospective business owners that might want to come to our monthly gratitude party. We're having a pool party over at Hula Bay on the 21st at 12 noon at Hula Bay. It's our official restaurant partner, and we're going to have some fun over there with you. We're bringing boats. We've got Freedom Boat Club. I'm a member there. We're going to have some boats there, and we just like to celebrate and have an attitude of gratitude here around the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So come out and say hello to us on the 21st, Saturday the 21st at 12 noon over at Hula Bay. And stay with us. The best is yet to come. More from our experts in studio, and we're going to hear from Jerel McCants with McCants Architecture in a moment. Stay with us.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Say hello to Hannah and Ian over at Smart Move Moving and Storage. They are a Pinellas Realtor Organization affiliate member as well. And we're back here in studio for iHeartRadio. We got every day, Monday through Friday, you can find us 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on 1250 Wins. We also have a weekend show on 102.5 The Bone. Check us out. All of our repurposed content as well on YouTube. Some great interviews with all the local mayors on YouTube. Former USF football coach Jim Levitt was on the show probably 2.5 months ago. Had a great interview with him. I urge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out Real Estate Quarterback Show as well on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the cool sites. We're on them. And we want to be your consumer advocate and help you win. So we're going to switch gears. First segment, we heard from Alex with Southern Image Homes, high-end custom home builder here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And then we also heard from Mark with Generex Generators, talking about ways that you can protect your property when it comes to power outages and being able to perform whenever there is no power utilizing the Generex Generators. And now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk with Jerel McCants, longtime friend of the program and expert contributor as an architect. He's the owner of McCants Architecture here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back in, Jerel.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure, man. So what are you seeing out there?
Well, I think most people can see when they're driving around their cars. They can see downtown Tampa and downtown St. Pete. There's tower cranes going up. There's I think the last time I was on this segment earlier in the year, the residential market was strong. We still see it as being strong. It's a lot more construction to be had in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we drive around. I mean, I was on the boat yesterday. I'm kind of having a little bit of a vacation. It was tough driving back from Don Cesar yesterday, back across the big, coming back into work. But I love my work, so it's not really work. It's one of those things. But, you know, living in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, you know, I'm on the boat. I'm looking back at, you know, the beach, the Gulf beaches. And you know, it really is, you know, we parked on the sandbar and just kind of chilled out, had some family in town. And it really is like living in heaven, man. We're here every day, especially you're out on that boat. You know, you're enjoying the beautiful water in Tampa Bay. There's no better place in the United States of America. When you take a look at the affordability, the absence of a state income tax, you know, all the local draws that we hear, whether it's sports, entertainment, fine dining, the arts, you know, we have it.
Right. And I guess one of the things I wanted to focus on, especially since you have your contributors from Alex and Mark about talking about energy efficiency, with the recent code change last year, not only from the design side, we have to worry about the building being structurally sound. We have to worry about the building being energy efficient. And a lot of times we have clients come to us and they'll have sections of plans or of things that they've seen, and we want to modify them, and they want to have additions done to their house. And we have to make sure that when we do an addition, their existing system may be functional and supply the existing house, but when they do an addition, they may have to add additional unit. So then that can bring the efficiency of the house as well, with having two separate condensers. And then that also come into play with those generators being powered, and when you could turn one on and off it simultaneously.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the code change happened, and now how have you seen that affect things on your end?
Right. It's we have to comply to higher the homes now have to be more energy efficient. Just like Alex said about having R38 in ceilings, that number continues to increase. Radiant barriers is a good thing, especially being here in Florida. Having those condensing units sized appropriately so they're not running continuously. If you have a large addition, those units are supposed to be continuously run on and off at a frequency. So if they're continually running, that means that unit is improperly sized for that addition.
Yeah, and also the windows. You get the double pane windows.
We have low E insulating glazing. Also the types of doors, the type of floor system, everything has now, even when you walk through Home Depot, you'll see that everything has these green labels on them saying that it's going to add longevity, energy efficacy to your project.
Right. Yeah. Also, shout out to John Grant with Eagle LED Lighting. Does a great job on the lighting side for a lot of our listeners out there. We've had some good response back from him as well. So yeah, we want to try to do everything that we can to be, you know, cutting edge, energy efficient, and help you win in marketplace and real estate. We've got a real estate roundtable discussion going on here on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. If you just joined us, we're talking with Jerel McCants. He's the owner of McCants Architecture, located downtown Ybor, right?
Right. Yeah, recently relocated 3 weeks ago. We're still in Ybor, just moved from 9th to 7th, so we're in the midst of all the action.
There you go.
It's always some interesting things going on.
Very cool. So you're in the mix now.
Right.
Yeah, good lunch spots down there too, huh?
Oh yeah. People definitely got to visit Dormichi's. We're right above the Dormichi's on the second floor. Nice interior build out. So if anybody has a chance to stop by, we'll definitely invite guests to come in and check out our new facility.
Awesome. Yeah, man. So what else are you seing out there? You got some higher end projects going on. Anything you can tell us about?
Right. Well, one thing I actually had a client a couple of weeks ago mention that there was a field change, and that's one thing I want to talk about, the difference between having drawings and then what's being built out in the field. And sometimes people that aren't familiar with the construction process, they hire us as an architect, and we'll do the design, and we'll get it to close to fit their needs and desires based on the budget.
Right.
And then once it goes out to the field, as Alex is over smiling, there's going to be changes because no site is the same. And then even referring to those weekend warriors, like no 2x4 is exactly 2x4. So when something comes out of the ground, some people might say, hey, my room was 10 by 10, but now I measured 10 foot 2 inches by 9 foot 10 inches. It's like, well, that's common. It's not anything to cause alarm. is part of the business, is because when we draw in our plans, we're drawing on a computer. Inside a computer is a perfect world.
Right.
Everything's straight, everything's perpendicular. When you're writing in Word, your words are perfect. If you go from Word to manuscript, you can see the difference. So same thing happens in nature, and when you're using materials out in the site, they don't always conform to those dimensions.
Yeah, interesting. You got a comment on that, Alex? You seen change orders in the field, things like that?
Well, it's just part of I guess it's just real natural for me. I mean, in the computer, in the theoretical world, it's all perfect, and then when you get on the job site, you just have to know what you're doing, and that goes from the architectural side and the contractor side, and
right.
it's not something to get alarmed about. It just happens, and if both parties understand it, it's easy.
Right.
If one party doesn't get it, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the answer.
That's the translation. I mean, it happens in real estate. It happens all over the place. There's translations where, in the business side, what has to happen. You know what it takes to get the contract closed, or, to pass the inspection, the re-inspection. And so that's the difference that's the disconnect. And that's why, as professionals, we take that educational approach and try to educate our clients through the process of that. But, so Jerel, what else are you seeing, man? I know, you guys are staying pretty busy over there, and you were Small Business of the Year as well.
Right, last year. Yep.
Awesome, man.
Yep. We're still seeing. Actually, we've seen an increase in church production, church new construction and additions as well. So that falls into play that we think that we see an increase in the economy. Those people that are religious sectors, they contribute more of their disposable income that's not going immediately to their family into their church or wherever they worship. Mm-hmm. So that just shows signs that the economy is still gaining. When we have pastors come to us saying, "Hey, we're outgrowing our sanctuary. We need to have an addition. We need to relocate." So we've seen a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah, I was driving out in East County. I just took a new listing out there in Lithia a couple of days ago, and I saw this huge mega church being built.
Right.
I mean, it was a huge facility. A lot of that happening.
That's an interesting way to gauge the economy. I like that. Right. I didn't think about that.
Seems accurate.
That is really good. That's a really good idea.
It's interesting too. We had Brace Accounting, Ronald Brace with Brace Accounting on the show last week, and he talked about he did a sample size of about 1,600 tax returns that his office did, him and Tom and some of the staff there. And he said, just in general, he kind of felt a little dismal, though, that he said he saw a lot of short sales, a lot of foreclosure action still. I know it's 1,600 is a small sample size, but it's tough to say. It's tough to gauge because if we allow the bureaucrats in D.C. to kind of dictate, we're looking at underinflated numbers, overinflated numbers. Who really knows what we're seeing, especially in an election year?
Yeah.
So,
but what do you do on one side too? Is do you sit on your bag of money forever? Do you ever go into that new house?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I
mean, you kind of have no choice. So if you think the economy's turning, well, okay, it's going to turn. But if you're having another baby or you need something bigger, what are you going to do?
Take advantage of these low mortgage rates.
The banks are lending money right now. I got told a long time ago by somebody, do it when you can. Do it.
We're going to save that for the next segment. I like that. I like where that's going. So stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show roundtable discussion here, and more from our experts in studio. RealEstateRadioTampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes, your host, and we're having a great conversation here in studio. Our expert contributors today, we have Alex with Southern Image Homes. He's the owner of Southern Image Homes. We've got Mark. He's an owner as well with Generex Generators, and Jerel McCants, owner of Jerel McCants Architecture here in studio. And Jerel had a great point. He was talking about some of the things happening. He said he saw more uptick in some of these mega churches, big buildings, and we got into a little bit of debate about the economy. So I like that. Let's open it back up. Alex, I want to get your comments on that.
Well, I think that there is still a lot of people who were stung by the recession, who still sit back and still say, should I build that new house? Should I do that renovation? Should I do this?
Right.
And they're just kind of waiting. But the problem is how long do you wait? Are you going to wait until you're dead? I mean, so they go out there and they shop, and they finally they've pulled the trigger a lot. I guess it started really back in 2012, where things started to pick back up again, and I see it pretty steady now. But there's still a lot of pent up cash on the sidelines. I think it's I don't think it's an overheated market in a sense. I think it's pretty. My business anyway, from what I see, is pretty steady. And I like seeing that. I like seeing steadiness. I don't want it to be overheated.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's what we want. We want steady interest rates. We want steady appreciation.
Banks are lending money to qualified people, which is good. The interest rates, it's almost free money that's out there by the time you take your tax deduction. I mean, if you're getting a 3.5%, I think my first house I bought, I was, 9% was my interest rate or something like that. And I was thrilled. And I talked to some other old timers in the business, and they're like, well, my first interest rate was 19%.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is really like free money. Take advantage of it. We're in it overall. The Tampa Bay market, if you read things, if you think about it, is an undervalued market for what you get.
Absolutely.
You go down to Sarasota, where my family and I spend some time, or you go down to Naples. Look at the price points that are down there versus what is here. So if I say, okay, I can build you this house for $200 per square foot, let's just say. Mm-hmm. If you go down to one of those markets, you might as well double that. And then the land itself, you might as well quadruple it. So it goes on and on and on. Tampa Bay, if you can find a good spot, it's a good time to do something. It really is. So go ahead and do it, and I think everybody will make it through it. I don't think we're going to see a recession like we saw before. I don't even want to talk about it, but I really don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the thing is, a lot of times when we talk about that, it's macro numbers. It's more of a United States in general numbers. I like your point of what you said. With here we are in beautiful South Florida, the state absence of a state income tax. You've got so many variables, the 40 to 50 year low mortgage rate still, and you touched on a couple points as well about I think a lot of people live on someday I'll, right?
Yes.
Someday I'll do this. Someday I'll read that book. Someday I'm going to take that step. I'm going to call that builder, and I'm going to do that someday. And the reason why I believe as well is because we're seeing more and more images. As we're here at iHeart, I'm looking at 6 different TVs flashing. Trump said this, Clinton said that. We got this going on. So there's a lot of geopolitical things out there happening. So I want to remind you as listeners out there, there's the economy out there, but then there's the economy between your own ears. So what can you do to live a better life? What can you do to take these action steps and, interview a home builder? Talk to Mark about a Generex generator and take that step to provide that safety and security for your family. You're going to be able to operate your business. You're going to have the security system on as you're still traveling in Europe. Talk to Jerel about getting together and putting those plans together with the things happening here in Tampa Bay. So what's your thoughts, Mark?
No, I definitely see an upswing in the economy. When we started this business, believe it or not, it was 2005, so that was probably the worst time to try and start a new business. But we saw nothing but increases, all the way up and even to today. I mean, right now, I think we're 30% above what we were last year at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no doubt about it, and we're actually back to getting the no interest and no payments thing out there, which was gone for a while. For whatever rules that they had imposed. But at this point now, if you do a real real investment on your home that's permanently affixed. We're able to get no interest, no payments for 12 months for a generator. And again, you talk about free money, but it's actually free money.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to pay
Haven't
it off
seen
within
that in a while.
No, like I said, it's something we just got a hold of a few weeks ago, and we're actually really proud to be able to provide it.
Great.
Yeah.
So we've been happy. But I mean, in general, everywhere you're seeing, people, we're a very luxurious item. Not everyone has one. Soon people, you look at it like it was air conditioning was in the early '50s. There was a few people here, the affluent people had them.
Yep.
Had air conditioning. Well, it started off the same way with generators, but today it's not just the affluent are getting generators. They're getting smaller. They're getting quieter. They're getting more affordable. Now they're going out to even more and more places. But again, those people that aren't super affluent or aren't super rich are able to afford it for some reason, and they weren't able to afford it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but all of a sudden they are this year. So I have to see the economy's coming back as well.
You hear and answer me this question. Does your product also, do you get people coming to you for like a life safety issue because of people's health care?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, in other words,
we do them for hospitals. We do them for water treatment plants. And it actually is labeled life safety.
But even on the residential side, if you have an older customer, for instance, who doesn't have a lot of family around, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they want that power, and then the inside of their house is getting up in triple digits?
Yep.
Why somebody gets there, your generator can kick on. So I think it's a good thing. I really do. I think what he does is a good thing, and I'm sure Jerel over there does a lot of stuff.
It's a fun thing.
Life
I'll tell you
safety is a very big part of this whole complexity here.
Let's do something here for the listeners out there. If you want to take up one of our any of our contributors here, let's send a text message right now, either with Southern Image Homes, if you custom home or a generator, text generator, text architecture, whatever you want to talk to, have an extended conversation about. Send a text message right now. Get off a someday aisle, take that step, and send a text message now to 813-917-1894. That's our consumer advocate hotline. You can call or text 813-917-1894, and we'll put you in touch with these folks. You have a conversation, and maybe it's not now, maybe it's 6 months down the road or a year down the road, but take that action item to live a better life and get these precautionary items in place. So now we're going to enter the lightning round. All right, so what we got here is the top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. Alex, you're up first.
Things to do, things to avoid. Pick the right builder.
There you go.
There's a top tip. You don't want your house, it might look good the day you move into it, but 4 years from now, if the right materials aren't used underneath, the bones of the house aren't good, from using maybe an OSB instead of a plywood,
Exactly.
from I could go on and on and on.
Yep.
From not putting enough millage of paint on the exterior, which allows intrusions from water and air.
Yep.
It goes on and on and on. You don't want to have the problems. Don't save $1 today to spend $10 in 4 years, and then your family, your biggest asset is falling apart.
That's right.
Don't do that.
Damn right. Mark?
Well, really, when it comes to generators, that's about the only thing I can speak educatively about. But, if you don't buy a generator from us, buy it from someone. Just make sure that your generator is there for your backup. Mm-hmm. It's there to back you up. You want to make sure that the company that you're working with is able to back you up.
Yeah.
Do they have a generator, like we do? We have a huge generator run our whole building, 15,000 square feet, no problem. Do they have parts? Are they certified? And do they have parts on the shelf? We keep over $150,000 on the shelf just to maintain and repair generators. In the event of emergency, we actually answer the phone and work on generators 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for emergency basis. Fortunately, you could find your local electrician, your cousin who's an electrician, whoever it may be, can install a generator. You just can't usually do anything for you if something breaks. And unfortunately, you don't know that it's broken and you don't know that there's a problem until you actually need it. And that's why we are who we are.
That's right.
Our service after the sale is our number one important thing.
To use a sports metaphor, how good is your backup? Look at Peyton Manning, quarterback Peyton Manning winning the Super Bowl. You had a great backup that got him through a couple of the playoff or the end of the season and playoff games there with Brock Osweiler, I think is his name. So, that's a bad metaphor from the quarterback. Come on! All right, Jerel.
Well, I would say always be involved as a client. Just because you hire somebody and like a contractor or architect or somebody installing a power system inside your house, you should still be a part of that team. you can ask the person questions and understand, become more familiar with what's going on. Don't just kind of say, hey, design a house and walk away or build me a house and leave it alone. You want to kind of be involved as much as you can. Everybody has busy lives, but you need to consider yourself as part of the team.
Yeah.
When you're undergoing a project.
Absolutely. I want to thank Alex with Southern Image Homes, Mark with Generex Generators, Jerel McCants Architecture. I want to thank you guys for coming in. Great real estate roundtable discussion. I want to thank our listeners, our viewers out there. Thanks so much for supporting the show. We're seeing record numbers hitting us up on Facebook and following our YouTube streams and tuning into the show each day. So we're real happy with that. We want you to go out and consider creating a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.